Manchester United fans, this summer could change everything. After a chaotic season filled with pressure, drama and uncertainty, Old Trafford suddenly feels alive again, following United's thrilling 3-2 victory over Nottingham Forest. Bruno Fernandes made history, Marcus Rashford made headlines, Roy Keane sparked transfer chaos, and behind the scenes, United's summer rebuild is already moving. Let's break it all down. Manchester United have 3 weapons to complete dream transfer this summer. Man United want to sign Elliot Anderson this summer, but there is going to be competition to land the England midfielder. Now that the farewell is over, it's time to look to the future. Casemiro has said his goodbyes to Old Trafford, and over the next week he will pack up his stuff and move on from Manchester United. It was always going to be an emotional occasion, and so it proved on Sunday, when the 34-year-old made his final appearance at home for the club. But amid all the gestures and gratitude, the plan to sign a replacement has been bubbling away in the background. Over the next few weeks, it will heat up. Like every club, United would love to have some of their transfer business done before things grind to a halt for the World Cup in North America. That only offers a short window to get things done. Elliot Anderson is top of the list of midfield targets for United, and on Sunday, in opposition against Casemiro, he delivered a performance that won over any doubters. He remains the dream summer transfer. There are a couple of sizable hurdles to clear. First, there is the interest from Manchester City and the feeling within the game that the Etihad his preferred destination. Then there is Forest's £100 million plus asking price. But United can't walk away from the 23-year-old without doing all they can to land a player who looks an ideal partner for Kobbie Mainoo and could be an Old Trafford mainstay for years to come. There are reasons not to give up hope as well. City remains an attractive destination, and even if they don't win the league this season, they are building a squad with enviable depth. Anderson looks like an excellent replacement for Bernardo Silva, but the future of Pep Guardiola could soon become clear, and if he decides to walk away from the Etihad, that could easily change the equation. The squad looks set up to cope with Guardiola's exit were he to leave, but there is no doubt he would leave a huge void to fill. United's renaissance over the second half of this season has at least thrust them into the race. They would have no chance of signing Anderson had they failed to reach Europe again, or even if they were in the Europa League or Conference League. Now they are back in the Champions League, have finished 3rd this season and look to have momentum behind them. That is a package you can sell to a player. United's ambition remains to win the Premier League within the next 2 years, and for the players who do finally end that long wait for a 21st title, hero status awaits. So United should have reason to believe they can beat City to the signing of Anderson. They have done it before, albeit it has often backfired. The Blues were interested in Fred, Harry Maguire and Alexis Sanchez, but they all ended up at Old Trafford. City considered them a bullet dodged. United won those races because they were aggressive, essentially going to figures City wouldn't reach. The same happened a year ago when Liverpool pushed the boat out for Florian Wirtz. Perhaps they will be happy to enter a bidding war for Anderson, but United's need for a number 6 is greater, and the former Newcastle midfielder could be the man to fill that position. They have to do all they can to try and strike a deal. Marcus Rashford's message to Bruno Fernandes says it all after Barcelona U-turn agreement. Bruno Fernandes has been sent a glowing message from Marcus Rashford that shows the Manchester United captain's impact. Marcus Rashford has heaped praise on Manchester United captain Bruno Fernandes after he equalled the Premier League assist record. The Portugal international reached the tally of 20 during his side's victory over Nottingham Forest, with Rashford quick to respond to his Instagram post marking the milestone. His comment read, "Setting levels as always," red heart emoji. Fernandes later replied, "At Marcus Rashford, my brother." Rashford's comment is pretty telling of Fernandes' character, and he just needs 1 assist on the final day against Brighton to surpass the assist record jointly held by Thierry Henry and Kevin De Bruyne. Just hours after Fernandes' stunning display at Old Trafford, Rashford was an unused substitute for Barcelona's final La Liga fixture of the campaign at the Camp Nou against Real Betis. Fernandes had previously sent a message to Rashford after he netted a stunning free kick in the win that handed Barca the Spanish League title. That was his 14th goal of the season, and the 28-year-old appears determined to extend his stay at Barcelona beyond his loan spell. The latest reports emerging from Spain via Mundo Deportivo claim that Rashford has already put pen to paper on a 3-year deal that includes a reduced wage. However, with talks continuing to stall, Rashford is reportedly prepared to tear up that arrangement and instead pledge himself to a 5-year contract, which would assist Barcelona in financing his acquisition. This is because they would be able to spread the expenditure across a lengthier period. A £26.2 million buy option clause was written into his loan move, with United standing firm on their position that he must be sold outright for no less than that figure or remain at the club. Michael Carrick, who is poised to be appointed the club's permanent head coach, is receptive to the prospect of a Rashford return, though that view does not appear to be reciprocated by Rashford, despite Ruben Amorim's departure from the club. Regardless of how his situation unfolds, a momentous summer lies ahead at Old Trafford, with United having secured Champions League football for next season. Their first departure was confirmed on Sunday, with Rasmus Højlund heading to Napoli for £38 million after a clause was triggered by his loan club, sealing Champions League qualification following victory over Pisa. With Rashford expected to follow Højlund through the exit door, United may look to bolster their attacking options, though strengthening midfield will undoubtedly take precedence. Casemiro played his final home match for United on Saturday against Nottingham Forest, with prime target Elliot Anderson delivering a stunning performance despite his side suffering defeat. Carlos Baleba, Adam Wharton, Ederson, Aurelian Tchouameni, Sandro Tonali and Mateus Fernandes are just a handful of other names that have been connected with a move to United. Bruno Fernandes put spotlight on Manchester United teammate after equalling assist record. Bruno Fernandes equalled the Premier League assist record in Man United's win against Nottingham Forest on Sunday. Bruno Fernandes was delighted that Bryan Mbeumo scored the goal that ensured he equalled the Premier League assist record. Before Manchester United's game against Nottingham Forest, Fernandes was one shy of the top-flight record for assists in a season. Thierry Henry and Kevin De Bruyne jointly held the record of 20 assists in a campaign, but Fernandes equalled the record when he set up Mbeumo to make it 3-1 against Forest at the Stretford end. There was an outpour of emotion from Fernandes, who was congratulated by his teammates after equalling the record. The United captain will now have the opportunity to break the record by providing an assist against Brighton on the final day of the season. Fernandes spoke to journalists saying, "I wouldn't say I'm relieved, but very happy, very proud. Obviously, everyone knows it was something that, when you start getting close to that, you start thinking a lot. A good thing is that it doesn't change the way I play, because I'm there to serve my teammates, try to make them score goals. So I'm very happy that I did it today, and Brian ended up scoring a goal also, because it was very good for him." He's been going through a period where he can't score, and he was probably our main scorer in the beginning of the season, so I'm very happy for him too. Obviously, I'm very proud. We're speaking about Thierry and Kevin, two of the main names of the Premier League, and for me, I'm very grateful, and I'm very happy to do it. It's a very proud moment. There were times against Forest when chances were missed, and it seemed like Fernandes would have to wait until the final game to equal the record. Obviously, it comes into your mind, you know. Like we had seen this image, we knew that when we had this opportunity, he said. The main thing is that we're very aware of the spaces that we have to take, the movements that we need to do, and at the end of the day, if you score or not, it's going to be 50-50 all the time. When asked about his teammates wanting him to equal it, Fernandes said, "They all were aware, and I think they're all aware also that I try everything I can to help them. So I'm very grateful to see their reaction more than mine, because I wanted Brian to celebrate his goal. I didn't want to make it about myself, because at the end of the day, scoring the goal is the biggest thing in football. And all credit to Brian, because if he doesn't put it on the back of the net, my record will not be there. So these records only come if your teammates do the things right, as you do." Fernandes smiled as he joked he only targeted equalling the assist record once he reached 19. "Let's say, when I got to 19, he said, then you start thinking a little bit, and then I think the Liverpool game, I've got the assist, then the game after, there were not many opportunities for me to create a lot. This game I had the chance of creating a lot of chances. We end up not giving just one assist, but the main thing I keep focusing on is keep doing the same things. Can Fernandes break the record by providing a 21st assist against Brighton next weekend? Let's see, he said. As I said, it doesn't change the way I play my game, so I will still have to create things for my team, and hopefully it can happen. But if it doesn't happen, I'm already very happy because I've never done 20 assists in the Premier League. I've never done 19 either, so even if I had finished with 19, I would be very happy. Manchester United players and wags enjoy team night out after Nottingham Forest win. Man United players enjoyed a team night out at Phoenix in Manchester after their 3-2 victory over Nottingham Forest on Sunday. Manchester United players were joined by their wives and girlfriends for a team night out on Sunday as they celebrated what has been a positive season for the Reds. The players dined at Phoenix in Manchester, with Michael Carrick and some members of his coaching staff also present. Sunday was an emotional day for Casemiro as he played his final home match for the club, but the midfielder was not spotted at the celebrations. Inside Man United's end-of-season farewell, classy gift, Casemiro's family, Mainu moment. There were heartwarming scenes at Old Trafford after Manchester United's final home game of the 2025-26 Premier League season. Casemiro said an emotional farewell to Manchester United fans on Sunday. A banner paying tribute to him was unfurled in the Stretford end, and there were a few Brazilian flags dotted around the stadium. The midfielder and his family were presented with a special commemorative gift ahead of his departure, while Bruno Fernandes was presented with a framed shirt after equaling the single-season Premier League assist record. Another gift was handed to Tyrell Malacia. The presentation was low-key, with a framed shirt handed to the defender and his family, who posed for a photo by the tunnel. Malacia was one of the last players to leave the pitch. He made a promising start to his time at United in 2022-23, but he played through a knee injury with pain injections at the end of that season before undergoing 2 rounds of knee surgery after the first operation proved unsuccessful. It was therefore no surprise that he spent as long as he could on the Old Trafford pitch. Malacia's daughter was by his side, and he appreciated the gift presented to him by a staff member. The lap of honour finished in front of the Stretford end, and there were heartwarming scenes with the players and their loved ones everywhere you looked, albeit a little bit chaotic, as Michael Carrick described it when he made his way upstairs to speak at his post-match press conference. Casemiro's son showed he could follow in his dad's footsteps as he playfully wiped out Bruno Fernandes' child in the penalty area during a casual kickabout. Fernandes set his son up to score a goal with a pass. He finds a way to make an assist even when he's not on duty. Casemiro's family were emotional pitchside. His mother carefully folded away a home-crafted thank you message to fans that they'd stuck up on the glass of their box, making sure to take it home. A red-tinted Brazil flag was folded away by another family member. Casemiro and his wife, Ana Mariana, held hands as they disappeared down the Old Trafford tunnel for the final time. The midfielder only let go of her hand to blow a kiss to United fans and to wave goodbye. Casemiro was scheduled to speak at a post-match press conference. The idea of speaking to journalists after the game was his own, but a United staff member eventually confirmed he was too emotional to do so. Carrick would have been made emotional by the reception he received as he left the pitch. He saluted the Stretford end, applauding and giving a thumbs up before heading down to the busy tunnel area. Steve Holland was the first member of Carrick's backroom staff to go down the tunnel, which felt appropriate for a man who shuns the limelight in favour of cracking on with the job behind the scenes. Holland applauded United fans before disappearing. The 56-year-old was a massive United fan as a boy, and the significance of what he could achieve at United over the next few years won't be lost on him. Carrick and his coaching staff have been key to Kobbie Mainoo's comeback at United, having immediately restored him to the starting team after Ruben Amorim left him on the periphery of the squad. Mainoo played with his niece on the pitch, while the chants of Mainoo, United can't play without you, to the tune of Billy Ocean's hit track Love Really Hurts Without You, cranked up a notch from the terrace. The academy graduate eventually acknowledged the chant by fist-pumping and applauding the fans. The new Mainoo chant is catchy, but it's also true. United should not be playing without him starting. Brian Mbeumo was pleased to see two French speakers in the front row. They appeared to know Mbeumo and called him over. The 26-year-old spoke to United's security guard and the pair were invited down the tunnel. Fernandes came back out from the dressing room to speak to Manchester-based reporters because the mix zone was not accessible. He was in great form, smiling as he chatted about the assist record. A United staff member eventually shouted, "Stewards, it's time to clear the stands. Please can you tell the fans to leave?" Some supporters couldn't get enough of the celebratory scenes in front of them. There have been plenty of bad final days at Old Trafford. Sunday was an uplifting one. Roy Keane makes Elliot Anderson point as Man City and Man United set for £100 million transfer battle. Manchester United transfer target Elliot Anderson produced an eye-catching performance for Nottingham Forest at Old Trafford on Sunday afternoon. Roy Keane has praised Elliot Anderson for the way he adapted to international football as the Nottingham Forest star continues to be the subject of transfer speculation. Both Manchester City and Manchester United are monitoring Anderson's progress before a potential summer move for the £100 million rated Forest star. Since joining Forest from Newcastle United in the summer of 2024, the 23-year-old has established himself as one of the best young midfielders in the Premier League. Anderson is also expected to start for England at this summer's World Cup, and Keane believes he's done very well getting into the squad and the team. Every time the England manager has spoken about him, he's spoken very highly of him. He's had a big impact, and some of the England games can be easy, but they can be a test for a player because you can overthink it and try too hard. But he has settled very well into that international fold, and he will be a cert to go in the squad and starting 11. Keane, speaking ahead of United's win over Forest, added, "Sometimes with experience you can try too hard, and when the team is in trouble, but that is where the experience will kick in, when to sit and when to start chasing people." Asked about Anderson before his side's win 3-2 at Old Trafford, Michael Carrick said, "Yeah, he's done well. I think he's a big part of their team. I think he offers so much, and they've got a really talented team and dangerous team." So they've had a good season to get to the semi-finals and just fall short. But yeah, you can see obviously he is an important part of their team. When asked if Anderson would stay at the City ground following his side's defeat at Old Trafford, Forest boss Vitor Pereira responded, "This is an answer that I don't have. The market is the market. Everything can happen. What I can say to you is the club wants to keep him playing for us for sure. The club wants to keep the players. This is a very good group with quality, with character, and we are in a very good place for the next season."